Hey, this is John Capora with round two of oh man, I keep almost saying Modern Monday. I'm not Frank Lepore, I'm John Capora. This is Magic Duels Monday, and we're gonna keep this clunker of a hand because inspiration is so good. It's so good. We can't lose. Man, inspiration's so good. The first iteration of this deck I built had one, and every time I drew it, it just seemed bananas. So one eventually became two, and here we are. I think two is like the most you can play just because it doesn't really do anything by itself. But man, sometimes it's just great. And so we're going to break this Evolving Wilds for a swamp this turn. Hopefully our opponent doesn't do anything too busted here. Although he started off on Suntail Hawk, so... Okay, Kinsbell Skirmisher. Not quite the equipment I was expecting, which might just be a good thing, but something similarly low power. So I can stand to like take 3 damage a turn while countering his stuff, slowly building up to removal every turn. Just kind of 1-for-1 trading with his cards. I mean, I'm gonna have to weather some beatdowns here, but I am actually really comfortable with that. Mostly because I have Inspiration in my hand, which is just an awesome card. It's really good. Alright, so take 3 here. Probably counter something. Nimbus Wings. I think I'm going to let that resolve. I think that's okay. Because if I rip Languish off this Telling Time, I get the 3-for-1, and that leaves me in pretty good shape. Also, Gilleaf Winnower's kind of worth noting. The card's pretty great. And I think I just pass because I want... Hi, cat. Oh, boy. I want this every time he just comes off the porch and tells me what he saw. He's very talkative. Be quiet, cat, please. So yeah. What is happening here? I'm gonna counter this because that's gonna get stuff out of the way of a potential Languish if I draw it. So this turn he's gonna hit me for 5. And now I really, if I don't hit a land here, that's going to be pretty crappy. I'm going to have to use Reeve's Soul to just stem some bleeding. But at the same, oh boy, cat. Ooh, okay, so a second Reeve's Soul. So this turn I can just get 2-for-1s and then kind of reset from there, which is nice. Now I feel a little better. I have an inspiration. I can take 1 hit from a creature. And I also have the Spell Mastery triggered on my Calculated Dismissal, which is nice. Heliod's Pilgrim. Figured it would get Knightly Valor. So we've got a Knightly Valor to consider. I also have no prop. Yeah, I know. There are things out there, buddy boy. Now, I don't... What I was going to say is I don't mind taking a bunch of hits from this little Heliod's Pilgrim and playing stuff like Inspiration. Because the difference between 9 and 8, or like 9 and 7, not really that big, especially when my alternative is just like keeping mana open. Keeping mana open seems super great, and I'll do it whenever I can. But yeah, this inspiration Its inspiration is going to be quite good. Hopefully it draws me into an untapped land. Oh, of course not. No way. No way. Sigiled Starfish? Yeah, I guess that's fine. Allows me to leave a counter spell up. Even if he hits a land next turn, I would still be able to counter the Knightly Valor in his hand. So, that spot, playing the Sigiled Starfish in that spot is A-okay. As far as I'm concerned. How about you, Roger? You like that? Of course, once I just start talking to you, you're silent. Say nothing. Alright, so at the end of this turn, I'm going to snap off Telling Time. See what I hit. But yeah, I'm perfectly content to just kind of sit behind the Starfish until I start drawing some stuff. Here I make a mistake. I grab the planes. I should have just grabbed Inspiration. All I did in the beginning of this game was gush about Inspiration, how good it is, only to just completely ignore it. There aren't many white sources in this deck, which is why I originally got the planes, and also because I have the one white card in my deck. And the one white card in my deck happens to cost double white, which is really just an oversight. Yeah, the white in this deck is pretty bad, because there's really never a good time to cast Tragic Arrogance, because they're not overextending for the most part. They're not like going crazy. And even if they are like flooding the board, they're doing so, they're going to be doing so early that a card like Tragic Arrogance is going to have little to no effect. So, needed to play the games to kind of figure that out because I'm not very good. But now that I've figured it out, I can safely bench the Tragic Arrogance. And Angelic Edict takes out my guy. Highblight Assassin. I like that card. Card's pretty good. Hopefully he plays another Suntail Hawk. I can just take it out. Alright, so he's got Knightly Valor, blank, and one of the blanks is Heliod's Pilgrim, and I can't really counter it. Which is kind of a bummer, not gonna lie. Okay, Nimbus Wings, that's just fine. Maybe he'll play Nimbus Wings. Huh. Yeah. Alright, just right on time. Okay. It's possible that I should have just countered the Nimbus Wings, but I didn't. I'm just not playing super well. Not very crisp. But we'll see how good this 4-3 ends up being. He's got one random card in his hand, soon to be two. I don't think the random card in his hand is a land. But this card he just drew may very well be. Oh god, it's a Boonweaver Giant. That's very good. That's too good. Yikes. Okay. Well, I can attack him, and if he tries to double block, which he has to, if he wants to block at all, I can Unholy Hunger the 6/6 and get myself a nice little 1-for-3. Yeah, I guess that's that's a 2-for-1 because actually no, it's a 1-for-1. But it does still take care of Boonweaver Giant and the Knight, which is really what I need to do. And this spell is almost certainly getting countered because I have to counter it. I can't let him generate any more value than he already has this game. I know the card in his hand, he can't play it. So, and I'm pretty much locked into playing Tragic Arrogance next turn anyway. So what I'm gonna do is block with Sigiled Starfish because thanks to Tragic Arrogance, the Sigiled Starfish is gonna die anyway. Scry away. Languish is pretty good. It's a lot worse when you know your opponent has, oh god, what is it, Knightly Valor in his hand? Yeah, it's a Knightly Valor. That's pretty good. Alright. Arrogance. Let's see how many times it takes me to choose enchantment. Okay. Alright, there we go. And now I choose my creature, and now I choose your knight. Boom. Everything's gone. Possible I should have just attacked first. Oh, what did I do? Why? Oh, yeah, if I attack there, that's really bad. I'm at 2 and I just die. Yeah. Yeah, probably a good thing that I didn't attack there, in hindsight. Alright, so what's going to happen here is I'm going to trade with this 4/4. And then 2 Eyeblight Assassins are going to take care of a knight. And that is my plan. Unholy Hunger hopefully takes care of any top decks he hits over the course of the game. This Calculated Dismissal in my hand is dead, which is super frustrating. I really should have taken the chance to play it when I could have. But lesson learned. Yeah, Calculated Dismissal. I mean, it seems so good on paper, but these games go so long, and it just, in a deck like this, your cards just need to be good in all phases of the game, and Calculated Dismissal is like, it's just not. It's just not good in all phases of the game at all. Alright, Reeve Soul, so I'm pretty much set on guys, or I'm pretty much set on like his creatures and taking care of them. Alright, and continue. Pass turn. He draws. This is a good spot to be in, honestly. Him blowing a Angelic Edict on a Gray Ogre is pretty bad for him. It's not what he intended the card for. So, I'm in a good spot. Angelic Edict. So, he eventually pulls the trigger on an Edict, and yeah. This is right. Because, with that one Angelic Edict, he doubles my clock, which is kind of insane. And I've still got Calculated Dismissal up in case he's got like a creature follow-up, something like that. Alright, so he's going to go to 4. And then he's just dead in a turn? Is that right? Okay, now this is the worst possible play I could make here. The reason to not play this is because he's got spells galore in his hand, and since he's white, I can assume maybe that one of them is Tragic Arrogance, or that he at least has Tragic Arrogance in his deck, because Tragic Arrogance is like a reason to play white. Even a deck that kind of loads up on creatures, because this opponent of mine also has a ton of auras, which are really good with Tragic Arrogance. You just kind of make a big guy, and then you sacrifice all the rest of your creatures